Well, hello, my fellow Americans and fellow Christians, and thank you for joining me for one more day of peace and freedom here in the United States of America. Well, the 4 blood moon tetrad has come and gone. Today is September 29th. And it has come and gone, and the predictions that these men have made concerning the blood moons has not come to pass. Now, I want to make sure that I present to you something that John Hagee has said concerning these blood moons. And as I have said in another previous YouTube, that anybody can say something's about to change, because the world is constantly changing. And there are constantly political moves and wars and happenings throughout the earth and throughout all countries of the world. Anybody can say something's about to change. But I do want to give you something that John Hagee has said, who is the perpetrator of these 4 blood moon tetrads, saying that there is doom and gloom around the corner. And as I have said in the past, these kind of things that these prophecy teachers have presenting to the Christian church and to the American public is taking away the mind and the heart of men and women to have characterization in Christian standards and ideals of living within their soul, mind, and heart, and look to a positive future. It is taking away from that, and it is causing the mind to be brainwashed into thinking that these are dark times, wicked times, and doomsday about to happen tomorrow, which no one can say, and no one can predict what is happening tomorrow. We are not allowed to see that far into the future. And everybody knows that. And who is to say that we shall not become a glorious nation once again? That great leaders shall come out of our great American citizenry and guide and direct our country to a glorious power and greatness once again. We're on the decline right now, but that doesn't mean that we cannot be on the rise once again. There is no one who can say that that cannot happen. For the Lord actually says, if any people that is called by my name, if they repent of their sin and turn unto me, I will heal their land. The Lord can heal this country. And perhaps just through the prayer of one man. We don't know. Nobody knows. But these men have been perpetrating upon the American public predictions that have been absolutely incorrect. They are assuming things and presuming things that have been incorrect. And the Christian church particularly has been following these men and continue to support them when they have absolutely been wrong. And that, to me, is something that these men and women of this generation and this Christian generation need to stand back and take a hard look at. For the Apostle Paul wrote to Titus and said, hey, the Cretans, their credibility is horrible. And actually, he says in Cretans to Titus, concerning the Cretans, in Titus 1:10, he says, for there are many unruly and vain talkers and deceivers, especially they of the circumcision. Vain talkers means empty chatterers. And that's what we have today. These are empty words. These men are predicting the Antichrist is alive and well for the last 30 and 40 years. I don't see him, do you? And he sure is not about to come on the scene tomorrow. They've been predicting about the false prophets showing up on the scene. They've been predicting about a 10-nation confederacy over in Europe. I haven't seen it, have you? For the last 30 and 40 years. These men have been absolutely wrong in their predictions concerning all of these things. Now, John Hagee has said concerning the blood moons, and let me read it to you real quick here. Do I think the 4 blood moons is a messenger of a coming storm, he asks? Absolutely. History repeats itself. And also in this September, the Shemitah year is ending, 2015, which is a Shemitah year. September 28th is the 4th blood moon in this Shemitah year. I believe in the fall of this year, America and the world will face another economic crisis. And the reason why he says that is because in blood moons in the past, what has followed is economic crashes and crises. Okay, that's the reason why he's saying it. Perhaps as a result of a war in the Middle East or another economic crash. But there are very sophisticated people on Wall Street saying we are facing a 50% correction in the stock market in the near future. Get ready. Americans should get prepared. Okay? This is my challenge to you. I ask you to watch it. We have 3 months, October, November, and December. If there is no economic crash within the next 3 months, then this man is incorrect in his predictions and what he is perpetrating and saying to the American public and the Christian. Am I correct? Am I correct? Do not insult the intelligence of the American people, and that is exactly what is happening here. Now, I want to present to you something. The Tet Offensive that happened in 1967 was a massive military move in South Vietnam against America. First, the embassy was attacked, and then the officers' barracks were attacked, naval headquarters were attacked, and other places of strategic power were attacked all at once in South Vietnam. They say some 65 to 70,000 Viet Cong attacked all at once. Our generals didn't see it coming. Our military leaders didn't see it coming. Despite the infiltration of all this military ammunition and military firepower that was being infiltrated into South Vietnam, they didn't know it was coming. And America was caught off guard. Now, back here at home, President Lyndon Johnson was upset that there was such a stalemate concerning the Vietnam War, that the American public saw the Vietnam War as a stalemate. So he actually put it out there to his generals and to other people. We have got to get America to believe that we are winning that war. And it started to happen. It started to trickle in to the news journalists. And they were starting to report victories here and there, trying to show the American public and the American citizen that we were winning that war. Well, as the Tet Offensive happened, it was starting to come in to these news journalists that something major was happening in South Vietnam concerning the Tet Offensive. And Walter Cronkite, as he was starting to read some of the things that were happening there, and how we were losing in so many different places, and how the Viet Cong was attacking us in certain different places within South Vietnam that we thought were secured positions, Walter Cronkite was actually quoted as saying, "What's going on, man? I thought we were winning the war." As this Tet Offensive was happening, and these news reports were getting to these journalists, they were sending over television crews. And the television crews began to start filming these things as they got there concerning the Tet Offensive. And for the first time in uncensored television, what was happening in the American public citizens' living room was a vision of what was really happening in Vietnam. And we here in America were beginning to say to ourselves, we have been lied to about this war in Vietnam, that we're not winning the war, that we're actually losing the war. And what had happened is that had actually moved so powerfully upon the consciousness of the American people that the following year in 1968 there was great chaos, great counterculture, not to mention the assassinations that happened and the great upheaval upon the American landscape. Our country has never seen anything since. The entire country exploded because American people began to see that we were being lied to concerning the Vietnam War, that Washington was perpetrating upon the American people, that we were winning. And so, folks, that is my point here today. These men are predicting to you things that are not proper and are incorrect. And we have got to come to the conclusion that these men today are not omnipotent and omniscient, but they are fallible. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America.